Hi guys! Today we're exploring a brand new biome while I try to track down a village. But I did find some juicy Reddit gossip stories and we have to read this together. So, whether you're about to go to bed or just want something chill to have on in the background while you do your thing, then continue watching. Let's get into it.
It's called He Wants to Call Off My Divorce Because My Cancer Treatment Was Successful. And who could have expected that? When I was diagnosed with testicular cancer, he filed for divorce because he said it would be too much to take care of me. In my province, you have to live separately and apart for 1 year before a divorce is granted. Since he left, I've had surgery and chemotherapy, and my latest checkup shows no evidence of disease. I'm so happy for him. When he found that out, I don't know how, he applied in court to withdraw the divorce application. He told me we can stay married since I'm no longer sick, and was actually shocked when I blocked the divorce withdrawal petition through my own lawyer. I don't want to be married to him after what he did. It's just crazy, the audacity, if you're gonna do something, at least, finish it. Don't just back out, it's just ridiculous. It's pathetic of him. Anyways, I know that's a really small one, but there is a small update from 3.5 years later. And it says, my divorce was made official yesterday. It's over. 4.5 years of hell and being in limbo, and now it is over. Last night was probably the best sleep I've had in years. Maybe only second to the day I was told there was no evidence of disease. I feel like shouting from the rooftops because I'm free. I was diagnosed with testicular cancer on August 30th, 2021. 7 days later, my ex-husband told me he was leaving me because it would be too much to take care of me, and he didn't sign up to be a nurse. I mean, when you get married, you kind of sign up to be anything, man. You've signed up for everything. There's your signature there, through better and through worse. Come on, are you joking? When I had my first appointment with the oncologist a few days after my diagnosis, I was given a warning about men leaving their spouses when there's an illness. I'm so surprised. But I never thought it would happen to me. Every person in my support group who has married a man had it happen to them too. It was eye-opening. I spent almost a year going through treatment. I had surgery, I had chemotherapy, and it almost killed me. But in August of 2022, I was told there was no evidence of disease. Woohoo! I don't know how he found that out, but when he did, he wanted to call off the divorce because I had gotten better. He was absolutely shocked when I moved forward with the divorce and did everything he could to drag it out. I'm so glad the court finally saw through his games, and now the divorce was made official. 4 years and 6 months after he left. I haven't seen or spoken to him in years, and I don't plan to ever again. Still no evidence of disease. I've got a new job with the provincial government. I'm planning a vacation for my 40th birthday. And most importantly, I'm free. It's good he found that out then rather than a lot later in life, But it's just so sad that, you're going through such the most horrible time of your life. And then you realize your partner is a piece of shit,
Just gonna build a quick house here whilst I make some glass.
The guy, 28 male, I'm 26 female, has a serious girlfriend. I've been seeing Nate for about 2 months now, and I really, really like him. I met him at the gym. When we first got together, he took me out to dinner and then asked if I wanted to come to his place. Before we hooked up, he said that he wasn't looking for anything serious and that he's seeing other people. Was I okay with that? I really liked the guy, so I said sure. Already fucking dumbass. You like him and then... Anyways. I see him every weekend or so, to the point where I definitely consider Neddy my boyfriend. But we hadn't talked about taking that next step. Well, duh. You'd know if you wanted to. One night, I was sleeping over at his place, and I saw a text on his phone that said, "Good night, baby, I love you." And I was floored. I know his passcode from playing music off his phone, so I took a peek, and it was clear. He has a long-time girlfriend. I don't know what came over me, but I was livid. I knew he was seeing other people, but now that he had a full-blown girlfriend that he says, "I love you" to. That sounds very jealous of her, but also dickhead move from him. I immediately confronted Nate about it, and he said that it just wasn't any of my business. When I pushed him on it, he said she knows everything, that they're long distance, and eventually she'll move in with him, but until then, they're fine with casual relationships on the side. He then immediately drove me home and hasn't responded to me since. I feel like I have a right to be upset because he didn't give me the full extent of his other relationships. I'm also not sure if I trust that she knows about him seeing other girls, because that seems like a line he just used. The girl's name is like burned into my head. Do I try and reach out to her? Part of me still wants to fix things with Nate if I could, because I do really like him, but I have no clue how. Just move on, girl. Are you joking? Like, even if he's not saying the truth, like, it doesn't matter, you know? Anyways, there is an update from 3 days later. He says, I did it. I told a girlfriend, which is very nice of her. I ended up finding her on Instagram. When I got access to her feed, it was mind-blowing. She had so many pictures of her and Nate together, dating back to like 4 years ago. He's taken her to Iceland for her birthday. They spent New Year's in a fancy ski lodge. Honestly, seeing all that made me seethe, because other than like 2 nice dinners, Nate and I mostly stayed in. Because you're not together. Why do you need to go anyway, you know? Also, I knew he was well off, but not like birthday trips to Iceland well off. Now I feel like I hardly know anything about him. So I messaged a girlfriend and told her what happened, that I had been seeing Nate for a couple months now. She knew already. Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of happy with this plot twist, because I would have just felt so bad for the girlfriend, you know, but I'm just glad she knows. She said pretty much exactly what he said, that while they're apart, they don't mind if they both have casual relationships with other people. I find that crazy. But anyways, to each their own. I asked her if she knew why he didn't tell me about her, and she just said he's a pretty private person. He doesn't share more than what he feels is necessary. Then I asked her if there was a way to get him to respond to me so I could say I'm sorry, and she just said that he's sending a pretty clear message and that she hoped she gave me some closure, but it would be in everybody's best interest to please not contact either of us again. Which, okay, ouch. No need to treat me like a child. I mean, to be honest, she wasn't treating me like a child. Now I'm blocked. I texted Nate to apologize and asked if we could get coffee to talk it through, but he hasn't responded. So that's the update, pretty much the strangest relationship situation I've ever been in, and now I'm at a loss. I really liked him. This sucks. I mean, from the beginning, very, very stupid choice to have a situationship with a guy you really like and then call him your boyfriend in your head. To me, it's just crazy. Obviously, he's not your boyfriend. You can tell he's not your boyfriend because he's only seeing you once a week to hook up. Are you joking? Anyways, leaving all of this aside, I don't think she did something that bad. I think it's very nice of her to message the girlfriend, because honestly, it's so hard to trust people when they're saying, oh, trust me, she knows. You know, and it's really nice of her that she did that. I can't understand why he's hurt, but also, you know, I just think it ended up well. I'm glad the girlfriend knows, and I'm glad this girl now can actually find an actual boyfriend. The title says, my 38 male girlfriend, 32 female, of 3 years, owns a porn store / strip club. I want her to sell it before I propose. My girlfriend was left a porn store and strip club by her dad when he died 8 years ago. He left it go to be a shithole, but she poured her entire inheritance and took out some loans to revamp them both. It is now a popular, well-managed establishment. Thanks to her, she makes a decent life, but I have issues and I want her to sell it before I even think about proposing. I don't think the adult industry is a positive place for anyone. I can't tell my strict Catholic parents what she does for a living. She has to put a lot of time into the club. Saturday, we had plans to go see Shazam and have dinner. She got called that a bartender's kid is sick and she ended up working until 4 a.m. due to no coverage. This is a regular occurrence in some capacity. She just shrugs at me and tells me it's part of being an active owner of a successful business. She ends up working until 4 a.m. at least 4 times a week. She is adamant that she will not sell. I need some good points as to why she should. Points involving children will not work as she doesn't want children. Honestly, fuck you, man. Like, what? If you didn't like her, if you didn't like her business, then why be with her from the beginning? You knew this. You knew for ages what she's doing. What's wrong with you? And then at the end of the day, okay, she's working 4 times a week, but she makes a lot more than those bartenders do because it's her own business. Yeah, okay, it's annoying that she's canceling. I think that's the worst part of this. Not that she has to sell the business, but the canceling is really not nice. But at the end of the day, working 4 days a week and making that much money, who can do that? Like, come on. I don't think it's that crazy. He probably has like a normal full-time job and he still works more than her. So there is an update from next day. I decided to tell her that the sexual side of the store and club bothered me and that I wanted her to sell it before I would propose. I made breakfast before she left to go over to the store for the day. She dumped me on the spot. She said she enjoys her work, loves the adult industry, and has no plans on selling ever. She says she has worked too hard and too long for that sort of bullshit. We don't live together, so we walked through her apartment to gather my things. We gave each other's keys back. She already blocked me on Facebook. Fair enough. I mean, come on now. You already knew who she was, what she was doing before you got together. If you didn't like that, and you thought your parents wouldn't like it, then why be with her? And second of all, why do you care what your parents think about it? And why would you want her to completely sell her business that she's worked so hard to? Like, come on. And then it's from her dad as well, that her dad that died, and you think she's just gonna be like, yeah, well, my boyfriend doesn't like it, so I'm just gonna sell it. Are you joking? How fucking selfish are you? It's just mad to me. And it's quite funny. And she's a queen for dumping him just like that. Because it kind of sounds like there are more issues. He's weird. Anyways, there is another small update from a month later. I ended up telling my parents what she did for a living. And they were shockingly cool with it. Wow, if only you did that before. Wouldn't I have been better? My dad said he even had his suspicions because he knew her dad growing up and figured it out through the last name. Her dad was well known in town. I went to the club last week to try and talk to her, but she was covering for a bartender again. She was dressed up as a Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, and she did a gun cocking motion with a bat like Harley did in the movie while I was across the room heading towards the bar. Next thing I know, I was being escorted out by the bouncers. She blocked me completely on everything. I was thinking of sending her a snail mail letter. Snail mail letter. Snail mail letter. What the fuck is that? And he said, but does that even work? I'm not even sure what I would say. I don't even know what that is, my guy. But no, that's stupid. Just give up. You're an asshole. Just the fact that you thought, like the audacity of him to think that he has that much control over her life for her to go to the extent of selling her own business just because he's scared to tell his parents. Are you joking? And also, if anyone's worried about what she would be wearing at the strip club or if she strips or anything, she doesn't. She just covers bartender shifts. So she doesn't go naked, she doesn't strip, she doesn't do anything. It is her business at the end of the day. And if she likes it, even if she did strip, at the end of the day, it's her business. And his parents can fuck off if they wouldn't have liked it. Why would he care so much about it?
I need as much coal as possible.
The title says, my 23 female boyfriend, 25 male, used the dog's savings for a computer. I know the title is a little odd, but it was the best way I could summarize what he's done. I have an 11-year-old senior German Shepherd. He was hit by a car in 2018 and he went through a difficult recovery process. He had seizures, urine issues, constant fear of anything going fast near him, like I couldn't even throw a ball anymore. We had another puppy, but our senior was so stressed we had to rehome her. You would have sworn he was displaying abused behavior, but he was just scared. How sad is that? He's moved past all of that now, and I'm so proud of him. The vet prescribed zoniamide for his seizures, and so far he's been recovering well. We were discussing ways to improve his mobility. He's like a walking cane, but for dogs, and he has sensory objects on the end to prevent him from bumping into furniture. We tested it in the office and his mood improved instantly, but at that time I couldn't afford more treatment for him, so I opted to come back. I met David earlier this year while walking him. He's known since day one that my dog requires special treatment and I would absolutely provide it. Everything went well and he wasn't controlling or abusive. Everything just clicked, but it's my fault because I was too comfortable. We were talking about finances and I told him about my debt and the money I was saving up for my dog. After paying off the debt from his previous treatment, I didn't want to open another card, so I started saving cash in a little fireproof chest. He stole it. Like, how much of a dickhead could you be? Honestly. Yesterday, I went to his place and I noticed he has a new setup. I was asking him where he got the money from and we fought and he said he's half dead anyway, you need to let him go. Like, how can you say that to someone that absolutely loves their dog? And to anyone, anyways. He's not even close to dying. He's a little older, but he's nowhere near dying age. We go to the vet regularly and everything checks out as well as it can, given the circumstances. No one has ever mentioned death. We've only been looking at the future and improvements. I'm so upset. What do? We're both students. I don't want to call the police and ruin his future, but that was for my baby to get what he needed so he can walk around my home comfortably. This is just heartbreaking. This whole story just makes me feel so sad and mad. This stupid, horrible guy. How could you do that? First of all, you stole money. That is illegal. 100% the police needs to be called and informed. And second of all, how could you do that to a dog? I mean, to anyone, but a dog that's suffering. And he would be so much happier with an assistance. And you steal that from him. Oh, disgusting. Anyways, there is a sad update from 6 months later. My dog died today. I think it was a seizure or an episode. I don't know, but he was fine until now. He wasn't stressed and he wasn't in pain. I remember this thread and everyone who helped me. I wanted to come back and say thank you for both of us. The vet got the donations and I got a loan for the rest. We really tried, but he didn't want to stay anymore. There's an active case for the theft. That's all I can say on that. He's my ex now. We don't talk anymore. I don't have my dog anymore. Thanks for listening. It's just so heartbreaking, you know, like the money don't even matter anymore. And I'm really glad that there's an active case for the theft for that awful human being. I hope he feels awful.
What the hell is this? Another Portal spawner?
So the title says, am I the asshole for refusing to tell my boyfriend how much money I make? This title won't make sense for the first story, but it will make sense later. I, 29 female, have been with my boyfriend, 39 male, for about a year and a half. He's kind, social, and really busy. Early on, he told me he's bad at planning, which I accepted. In reality, it meant I adapted to him. Our time together were usually probably Friday or maybe Sunday, and I would wait until the day off to know if we were actually seeing each other. Over time, I've noticed I was basically the only flexible part of his life. He never misses poker night, gym class, or frequent family dinners. Those are always set, but with me, plans stay loose. I stopped pushing and just opted to keep my schedule open, telling myself that if I wanted to see him, this was how it worked. You're just manipulating yourself, girl. Like, he doesn't even have to do it, you know? There have been some occasions where plans were kept. We've been on 2 vacations, for instance, but when it comes to more routine life, this is the pattern I've noticed. It does bother me, but in the end, he is available and we see each other pretty frequently. And when we do see each other, he is focused and attentive. I guess that's why I put up with it. It felt like a planning issue, not really a priorities issue or a quality time issue. But last week, something changed in me. I had a medical procedure scheduled one morning, a minor surgery, but I did go under, and I couldn't drive afterwards or take a ride share because the hospital won't let you. He told me earlier in the week that he'd be free and would take me. That morning, he texted saying he'd forgotten and had already committed to helping a friend move. Boy, come on. Helping a friend move. He suggested I take an Uber and said we'd make it up another time. Oh, yeah. I'll hit you up next time I need to go under anesthesia. You know, don't worry. Next time, I know you're my guy. Are you joking? I explained that I couldn't and that this was the surgery and I explained that I couldn't and that this was surgery and I'd really like to not have to worry about this at 6:30 a.m. the day of. He caved but was standoffish when he picked me up, which obviously was not great after being intubated. Yeah, that's awful. Last night, I told him how bothered I was. He said I was being unfair because I know how he is with planning and that I hadn't really stressed the importance of this. To be fair, I don't think I had mentioned the Uber thing to him prior. But through the conversation, it just seemed to me that this was nothing to do with the details. I just wasn't being prioritized. I realized I've been enabling this by staying vague, available, and accepting scraps because it felt easier than asking for more. I told him I don't want to continue like this and that this affected my ability to trust him in a serious situation. He says I'm overreacting and punishing him for a one-time mistake that is partly on me. Some friends say I trained him to treat me this way and that I should try to salvage. I feel done. Come on, man. Like, he's a dickhead. I'm sorry. Okay, I know, okay, you're bad with plans. That's fine. That's why you have a calendar. That's why to remember, it's really not that hard. Okay, if it's hard for you to make plans or whatever, you can make them together, whatever. But to forget about them, and especially your partner needing to go to the hospital and you agree to do it, and then, oh, my friend needed help move. I don't give a shit. I don't care what your friend needs. I need you. And they've been together for quite a while to be able to, depend on each other. Anyways, now this is the original post, kind of. Not the original, but anyways, I'm just going to read it and you'll understand. I, 29 female, have been with my boyfriend, 39 male, for about a year and a half. We are definitely on the serious side, but I have learned some lessons and like to take things slow. We will typically spend 1 or 2 nights a week together, but not every weekend, for instance. The fact that we both have pets is also a factor. I have 2 cats and he has a mountain dog. He isn't a great planner either, and we've had huge fights over that, but overall, he's a good guy and I am committed to him. We are fairly normal and have talked about all the things people normally talk about after this time dating. Formative memories, exes, what we want out of life, etc. And we are pretty aligned on just about everything. Early on, maybe 1 month in, he got curious about my financial situation, and I said that was a boundary for me. He accepted it and moved on, but it's come up again and again. This is over the course of months, so it's not like he's forcing the issue, but money discussions do arise. We took a trip to Hawaii, for instance. I said I think it's reasonable to split it down the middle, but I'll be honest, maybe it isn't. The truth is, he makes about half of what I do. We both have salary jobs that pay similarly, but I have a couple of freelance gigs which dramatically increase my income. I came from pretty stark poverty, and the idea of sharing money with a man is very difficult for me. I mean, it's not like... you are working more. You're working more jobs to make more money, So I think it's completely well-deserved. But not speaking to your partner... It came up again recently and again, and I said I don't want to go there. He said he thinks it's weird that we've been together this long and haven't. He didn't come at me or really dwell on the issue or anything, but it still makes me feel guilty or like I'm doing something wrong. Am I the asshole? There is another update from 6 days later. I read all of the comments and I have been thinking a lot about my relationship. I had also posted that he didn't pick me up for surgery, which was a pretty serious issue that lots of people called a huge red flag. Therefore is. This was also in a context where making plans always made me feel like a low priority. I don't really think I got over that. After lots of reflection, I concluded that we just weren't a match. Yeah, good. I think I'm guarded with him because he continues to show signs of inconsistency and uncertainty around me. I don't think I can trust him and open up more, and beyond this income thing, there are other aspects to me that I just don't care to share with him. We have also been very slow about integrating with each other's friends and family. Basically, it's barely happened. I met his mom once, but it was more of a coincidence than an actual meeting. I have been waiting for him to initiate more, and he hasn't. I was of the mind that I should just be patient, but I started to feel like it should just end. I did the right thing and met up with him for the breakup, and he was understanding. We both agreed it sucked and we did have some good times. We both agreed it sucked and we did have some good ones, even some great ones, but that this had run its course. The only thing that he did that didn't sit well with me was him calling it a situationship, which I felt was him trying to minimize the relationship because he just got dumped. But all in all, not that big of a deal, and he has been civil otherwise. how can you call it a situationship? How can you call it a situationship, man? Come on, like that is so it's so horrible. I'm glad it ended. I think just the fact that she couldn't really, speak to him about things, it just shows that they just shouldn't be together, and she can't confide in him, and he just doesn't seem like someone that, you can depend on. It just doesn't seem like a good relationship. I hope he gets to grow more, even though he's almost 40. So he needs to grow quick. And she just needs to, I guess, be a bit more open about these things. But at the end of the day, if it's a boundary of her, it's a boundary of hers, But at the end of the day, if you're going to be living with someone, you do need to be more open about these things, especially financial situation. And she shouldn't be at all guilty about the fact that she makes more money. At the end of the day, she does work more for it. She actually has things outside of her work, and that is the reason why she's making more money, So either way, I think it's good it's ended.
Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. I'm going to try to upload once a week minimum. Bye.